Hello everyone, welcome back to the SliverStar Arcade and more, the great Ace Attorney Chronicles. In the last episode, we came to the pawnbrokery where we once again encountered Gina Lestrade. I haven't seen her in quite a while. And we are also back to her terrible accent that I gave her. Miss Lestrade, is what that gentleman is saying... What do you think? It's all lies, ain't it? Obviously. I swear on me life, I never laid eyes on that dandy before. Let's hear it now, you little ragamuffin. You stole it, didn't you? That ticket you brought in here just now. No, I swear it. I swear to God. It was barely an hour ago. I was walking along the street minding my own business when this little gutterling ran into me. I knew at once what had happened. I've been robbed yet again, I thought to myself. Those are wretched pickpockets. Yet again? Oh yes, as you can see, I am a man of impeccable style. This isn't the first time I've been targeted by these backslum scoundrels. Now then, relinquish my overcoat. Yeah, I don't think it's your... Yeah, that's exactly what's working against him, man. There's no way someone you fancy has this shitty of an overcoat. No offense, Gina. Come along now, Miss Lestrade. Give the good gentleman his coat back. If you're going to cause trouble, I shall have no choice but to call the police. Hold on! Why does everyone think it's me? Just look at this dandy cove, and you think I'm the dodgy one. No, that's too Irish. I'm sorry, but no one's going to believe you. Well, what about evidence? Yeah. Where's the evidence that I've stolen something, eh? Come on, let's see it. Oh, I have evidence, naturally. You what? She looks terrified. Isn't she only like 16? Isn't she like... Wait, isn't she the same age as Sasota? No. She's older? That's a shock. A young pickpocket who we first met during Trail 6. She and Iris have become firm friends since then. Aw, her and Iris are friends. That's nice. Prior to pawnbrokery, they were patronized by Mr. Sholmes. He has a very great sense of responsibility to his clients. Yeah. Green medicines, they offer proper short stories. We rent our own office and rooms. So we still haven't... Oh, I guess you have to get the name before the guy's profile shows up. Evidence that the article Miss Lestrade redeemed actually belongs to this gentleman. Of course, we need only consult Mr. Windy Bank's ledger to know the truth. We'll be able to look up the name of the person who deposited the article in the first place. Yes, brilliant! I'm very sorry, but I'm afraid that won't be possible. Oh. I never ask customers' names. That's a strict policy of mine. That's shady. But why not? Well, no, as you can imagine, some of my customers have circumstances to consider. A great many of them prefer to maintain their anonymity. Yes, I see. But then, how can you know if an article belongs to the person asking to redeem it? Oh, it's quite simple. Good sir, might I trouble you for the watchword associated with the article in question? Of course, it's... Professor. Yes, that's right. And all the evidence we need. Oh shit. This gentleman is the rightful owner of the article without doubt. A watchword. Interesting. So, about these watchwords, Mr. Windybank. As I just explained, I never ask customers' names when they deposit items with me. There are many reasons why. Certain customers would like to keep their activities secret. Hey, Holmes. That wasn't exactly a subtle glance at Mr. Sholmes now, was it? Great detectives have no dark secrets. None at all. Ah, Sasoda. Or Sasato. I don't know. Yes, well, anyway, that's why I always ask for a watchword whenever I receive a new article. In many ways, it's like a secret combination of numbers used to unlock a vault. The date of deposit, a description, and a watchword uniquely identifying each item. And of course, then I give the storage ticket to the customer. When someone comes to redeem something, I ask for the ticket and the watchword. And if that someone tells you the correct watchword, you return the article? That's right, sir. Yes, just as soon as the requisite fee is paid. And I have supplied you with the information you require already. But for the avoidance of doubt, the article in question is an overcoat deposited 2 months ago on 15th February. With a watchword of Professor. All perfectly correct information, sir. But how? Really, this is beyond a joke now. There is no further room for doubt. Am I supposed to examine? Oh, yes. I guess is Herlock still over here? No, he's not. I guess now I have to talk to the man himself. Picture postcard gentleman. Excuse me, but who are you? One would expect the inquirer to introduce himself first. Though clearly you are not British, so perhaps our ways are foreign to you. Oh, sorry, yes. We're from the Empire of Japan. We're studying here. Oh yes, Japan. I've heard talk of the place. Oh shit, Michael Jackson. Its inhabitants live on some fiery brown-colored soup dressed up with exotic spices. You might be thinking of somewhere else. And what was that theatrical gesticulation about? Perhaps, anyway, if you are a gentleman, sir, you offer your own name first before inquiring after the name of another? Of course, yes. I'm Ryonosuke Naruhodo. I'm a lawyer. Well, a student of law, really. My name is Susato Mikotoba. And I am Mr. Naruhodo's assistant. I see. My name is Benedict. Yes, Egert Benedict. That is the most fucking British name I have ever heard. Is it Egert or Eggert? Like eggs Benedict? Eggert Benedict? Okay, anyways. That means we should have his profile now. No! Enchanté. Now we have his profile. There we go. Oh, shit. A young English gentleman with an aloof and high-handed manner. He appeared at Whitney Bank's primary, accusing of stealing his ticket. Alright, cool. He's so refined in how he holds himself and how he speaks. But that name is suspicious. Now, to the matter at hand. Woohoo! Get groovy with it. My overcoat. What if I just gave him an Elvis Presley voice? My overcoat. Return it at once to someone with the style to carry it off. Ooh! I like this guy. Yeah. Every move he makes, every breath he takes, I can't stand watching him. I can't stand watching him. Damn, you really can pull it off. I thought that was a shitty overcoat, but... So, let that be the end of the matter. And thank you for your custom, Mr. Edgar Benedict. Or is it Egert? With such reasonable rates of interest, I may even decide to come back. This is why I hate grown-ups. Just because I'm a diver, everyone thinks that makes me a liar. And the contents of the coat pockets, if you please, broker. But of course, sir. Here's the disc for you. Just this one? Pardon, sir? I was expecting another, that is, I deposited another disc. Oh, oh dear. I regret to inform you, sir, that what was deposited with me was merely the overcoat. The disc happened to be in one of the pockets, but I was completely unaware of it until now. So, gutterling, you're hiding more of what's rightfully mine, are you? Says who, eh? I don't know nothing about it. Very well. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style. Wait a minute, that disc is mine. Wait, whoa. Gah! What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal. Oh my, yes, there's blood on the disc. It's because of all those sharp little bumps. Yeah, I originally thought that was a saw blade. Like a giant saw blade. The man must have scratched his finger on them. I found it first, alright? I mean, it belonged to me old man. So you're not having it. Oi, you take it. Me? Wait, if I ain't on it, then they'll have it off me again. So you keep hold of it. Miss Lestrade, why is this disc so important to her? A metal disc used to play music in a mechanical music box. The piece of music, which remains unidentified, is stored on the disc by means of small protrusions. You there, in the black livery. Hand the disc to me at once, please. No, don't! He's lying! Grown-ups are all liars. What do I do now? How am I going to resolve this? Urlock! Oh, is it going to make me choose? Oh, also, by the way, this is the last save of the runaway room. Which I just wanted to show off is kind of cool, just kind of showing how far we've come. I mean, we totally just hightail it out of here. But, no, we've... Look at Mr. Windybank, watching diligently over his shop. There's still many things I'm curious about. Somehow I don't really feel like this is the right time to be browsing. Calming this fraught situation must be our first priority. And I'm fairly certain that we can find just the great thing we need among the articles here in the shop. Yeah, well, we're going to talk to everyone first. Mr. Windybank is clearly at a loss here. We have to do something about this before he reaches for that revolver of his. He's terrifying. Look at those piercing eyes. He's clearly in no mood to talk. We have to do something quickly before this mysterious gentleman leaves to fetch the police or something. I like the way she stands. And the attention to detail. Like, so she, oh wait, never mind. She's not hiking her boot up. That's just a really, oh no, she is. That's not a heel. That's the trunk. But yeah, so like, look, she's clearly got patches on the shoulders and the knees showing that, like, she's not rich enough to buy new clothes. She has to fix them, but is very clearly decked out in some, like, look at those belt buckles, or not belt buckles, the things for overalls. Wow, Mrs. Shaw is really looking daggers at that mysterious gentleman. We need to do something to calm things down before she loses control and attacks him again. Herlock! Help! Mr. Sholmes? Why are you examining with such keen interest there? As you enjoy a bar of caramel, I see. Oh, I didn't even notice that he was holding the bar of caramel. Oh no, he's depressed again. So, you found me at last, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? After that young pickpocket sent me on my way, I was forced to lurk in the shadows, cruelly ostracized as the rest of you partook in the jovial atmosphere of fellowship. I had nothing to accompany my mind, but was too ashamed to let society see what my downfall had done to me. So feigning mock interest, I pretended to examine the tedious trinkets in this desolate place. Whilst, as you shrewdly observed, gnawing on the only friend I have left, this 7% solution of caramel. Pray, do you claim to understand the depth of my despair, Mr. Naruhodo? But how could you? I was so lonely, so desperately lonely. Then why on earth didn't you rejoin the conversation? Things have gone from bad to worse here, you know? Yes, I overheard as much of your conversation. Or rather, in my craving for human contact, my ears devoured every word that was uttered. You really were sad, weren't you? Poor Mr. Sholmes. I feel simply awful for you. It would seem that my inferences are correct. Oh, surely you're not about to tell us that you've solved the entire case once again. My dear madam, sometimes I wonder where my genius for deductions to be commodist. How much could I pawn it for? It seems Mr. Sholmes has had another of his flashes of inspiration, but who knows if it'll help to resolve the situation between Miss Lestrade and the mysterious gentleman. What's the right thing to do here? Well, I'm not gonna say leave it. Actually, does leave it just kind of back us out? I don't know if Mr. Sholmes starts on one of his wild rambling deductions now. It could just fan the flames of this argument. I think it would be sensible to try something else. Mr. Naruhodo, what are you saying? The great detective has made one of his great deductions. He's sure to cut straight to the heart of the matter. That's what I'm worried about. We don't need any more cuts around here. Dear me, you seem decidedly agitated. Clearly, I shall have to take the reins. Yes, please do, Mr. Sholmes. Looks like we're going to hear this deduction, whether I like it or not. Alright, I'm actually gonna... Wait, I'm actually gonna load, because I want to see what the other dialogue option is. I don't often do this. Usually I'm all gung-ho and I don't explore other dialogue options. Oh, it just takes us straight to it. Well, that's no fun. Well, Miss Lestrade, it would appear you find yourself in something of a predicament. Where the blue blaze have you been, eh? Pardon? When a lady's in trouble, a Trojan's supposed to be there to help. Straight away, not an hour later. Harsh. And who, pray tell, are you? God damn, these people are both tall. Mr. Egbert Benedict, you have, in my eyes, a veritably encyclopedic array of curiosities about your person. Nevertheless, there are two immovable conclusions I have to draw. I beg your pardon. The first is this. The true reason for your visit to this pawnbrokery today is something you have not yet revealed. Ew, what's he doing with his fingers? Oh wait, no, never mind. That's just his... That's just the background of his... Oh no, that's a line on his glove. That's not two fingers. That's just his thumb. And the second is this. A considerable crime is in contemplation. One you will orchestrate with the intent to steal a vast sum of money. Well, Mr. Benedict, what say you to my deductions? How? He's turned white as a hard-boiled egg. It would seem that once again, Mr. Sholmes has made a flawless deduction. Just who do you think you are, sir? Yes, as I hoped. This is precisely the pained expression I was looking for. So, shall we begin? The time has come for yet another Sherlock Holmes Logic and Reason Spectacular. The Great Deduction. The game is afoot. Topic 1. Mystery Man's Aim. Oh wow, we're already 20 minutes into the episode. This is going to be a long episode. First of all, we must ask ourselves on what business you ventured to this pawnbrokery today. You claim to have followed this pickpocket here, having a redemption ticket stolen from you on the street. But that is most certainly a lie. The real truth is something quite different. As revealed by that which you hold in your hand. Yes, what brought you to this shop in the first place? Is the staff recruitment flyer. What? The piece of paper in your hand is a staff-wanted advertisement from this very shop. Yet even the most unobservant would soon realize that the man of your appearance has no need of such employ. Oh, never mind, he caught on to it. In other words, there is some ulterior motive for your actions. Oh, he threw it away. The cane which you unwittingly clutch to your person exhibits an incontrovertible contradiction. What utter rot! I've had this cane for years. The contradiction of which I speak is, of course, the missing ferrule. What? The end of any walking cane would be terminated with a metal ferrule to protect the wooden tip. And, oh jeez. And yet detailed analysis shows the wooden tip of this stick to be utterly bare. Wonder what else he could find with those glasses. I'll have to borrow them later. Therefore, there's only one conclusion. The rod that you hold in your hand, which appears to be a walking cane, is in fact no cane at all. What, like a croquet mallet? What was that tearing sound? You recoil, sir. There's something wrong. And in recoiling, you inadvertently facilitate the answer of the next conundrum to present itself. Namely, what is the truth behind this rod you bear? Nah. Yes, your reaction betrays the truth. The handle, which you evidently would like to conceal, is the key to this riddle you see. For the moment I saw it, my suspicions were aroused. What walking cane demands such a stout handle, mused I. But of course, as I said, this is no walking cane. No, that rod is the broken handle of a shovel. What? Are you insane? And now, having determined this undeniable truth, the conclusion is clear. Your true motive for coming here was to take employment at this establishment in order to excavate the ground beneath the premise. What a calculated crime you have conceived, sir. A wickedly calculated crime. The conclusion to tell underneath the brokery. Great crime is the second topic. Now, Mr. Benedict, let us continue. For we must expose the details of this elaborate crime you have been planning. This is utterly absurd. You suggest that I, a gentleman, intend to excavate the ground beneath this pawnbrokery with a broken shovel. What on earth do you propose I could expect to find there? Some long-forgotten treasure, I suppose. Save for such a fanciful theory, what possible reason could I have to do as you say? Oh, but there is ample reason. This is like the first time someone's talked back in one of his deductions. It's nice. As you are only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. Ah, and your furtive glance is more telling than I could have hoped. What? Let us consider what would motivate a man to infiltrate a shop such as this and covertly dig beneath its floor. The answer is revealed by the council note on the counter to which your eyes were inadvertently drawn. This letter gives notice of public works to be carried out in the local area. And according to the enclosed plan of the upcoming sewage works, beneath this shop runs a sewer that adjoins another, one that runs under the bank of the opposite side of the road. This is genius. It's probably wrong, but yeah, no, I think crimes like that were actually a thing. Use the sewage system to break into the banks. Even today, if you guys don't know it, there's a story of a sewage worker who found a way into a vault of a bank, and so he wrote to the manager, "Meet me in the vault at such and such." So the manager of the bank went in, and then the guy just popped out of the floor. It was like, "Hey, I want to tell you, I can break into this bank easily. You should probably fix this." This madness has entered the sewers now, has it? I can't land on a voice room. By excavating the ground beneath our feet, you would gain access to the waterway that flows in very close proximity to the great vault of financial institution opposite. What are you... In summary, sir, you devised a master plan to pull off an elaborate bank robbery by dint of the underground tunnels. Master plan? Which brings us at last to the final chapter of this lurid scheme. With what plunder did the thief hope to make off from the underground vault of the bank? Are you quite serious? Having consulted with Scotland Yard some days ago, I happen to know the answer. But naturally, the answer is no secret to you, is it, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, this picture postcard tells us all we need to know. The Crystal Tower? A postcard of the Great Exhibition. I'm afraid you've quite lost me, good sir. Currently in the final stages of preparation, the Great Exhibition will soon be underway, and the government has provided extra funds to complete its centerpiece, the Crystal Tower. Funds that currently sit in the vault of the bank on the other side of this road. Pardon? Yes, the considerable crime you have been contemplating is the theft of that which sits in the vault of that bank. The special reserve funds for the Great Exhibition. Of course, this is top secret police information, so keep it under your hat, please. To steal the Great Exhibition's reserve funds. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this pawnbroking puzzle. Mr. Sholmes? Well, Mr. Naruhodo? An impressively upbeat deduction for a detective racked with loneliness, would you not agree? Was it true you said about the bank over the road and what it has in its vault? Indeed, though few know of its existence, it is one of the government's most closely guarded secrets. Gregson told me, in the strictest of confidence. But you just announced it to everyone here, rather loudly, in fact. Ah. And if it's such a big secret, how would Mr. Benedict have come to find out about it? There can be but one explanation to that. Clearly it is because the man is a criminal. But what if he didn't know anything about the money in the vault? If he is a criminal, as you said, then buying a brand new shovel is sure to be the first thing he does now that you've revealed the secret. Oh. Or if he doesn't, maybe Mr. Windybank will. He already has plenty of shovels here after all. On my life, I assure you I'm not so unscrupulous. Well, hopefully this has taught you a valuable lesson. Sensitive information must be handled with the utmost of care. One can never be sure that someone privy to secrets won't disclose them. And once the word is out, it's out. Perhaps I'll think twice before confiding in you next time, Mr. Sholmes. An excellent idea, Mr. Naruhodo. An excellent idea! Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, you know what to do, I'm sure. Yes, let's listen to the great deduction again and see if we can massage it into shape. I love these characters. Oh, so much. Very well then, let us start once more from the beginning. Of Herlock Sholmes' magnificent logic and reason spectacular. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. First of all, we must ask ourselves what business ventured into pawnbrokery today. You claim to have followed this pickpocket here. Haven't had the redemption ticket stolen from you on the street. But that is most certainly a lie, and the real truth is something quite different. As revealed by that which you hold in your hand. Yes. Staff recruitment flyer. So, by Mr. Sholmes' reasoning, Mr. Benedict came here in order to apply for a job, so he could dig through the floor. Yes, in an attempt to tunnel into the sewers to gain access to the money in the vault of the bank across the road. But he wouldn't get very far with a broken shovel, would he? No, I think it's fair to say his motives lie elsewhere. The question is, where? What did bring Mr. Benedict here at this particular point in time? Stylish hat. That silk top hat is whiter than white. Only an Englishman could hope to carry off something so bright. But it looks so incongruous with the black overcoat, don't you think? Perhaps it's the latest London fashion. I mean, that's just guesswork, of course. How about Mr. Naruhodo? I think you'd look very fetching in a white top hat. Well, you know, I think I might look rather incongruous with my black university uniform, so... Wait, university? I thought he was in high school. The kid's 16. Or 17. Staff recruitment flyer. It certainly is a flyer for Mr. Windybank's shop. Let's see. Windybank wants you. Pawnbrokery's assistant required. It's an eye-catching advertisement, that's for sure. I've seen the same flyer up here in the shop, I think. Perhaps Mr. Windybank is always in need of more staff. So Mr. Benedict came here to apply for a job? That's just too hard to believe. Is there anything on the back? Aha. Oh! Look at all the scribbled notes on the back of the flyer here. I don't believe it. What is it? Listen to what it has to say. Name, Gina Lestrade, height 5'2". Green cap, scuffy waistcoat, grubby white shirt, blue satchel, ragged. It's a detailed description of Miss Lestrade. Goodness. Goodness. There's even a sketch of her, hat and all. Although, if he showed it to her, she'd fire that smoke grenade launcher in his face for sure. And look, the details of this shop have been written down here too. Windybank's Pawnbrokery, Baker Street, redemption deadline 15th April. Which is today's date. Why would Mr. Benedict have all that information scrawled on the back of that piece of paper? Cane. That's a proper English gentleman's cane, isn't it? Look at that beautifully polished brass on the handle. Yes, but Mr. Sholmes is right. It's not the sort of handle you usually see on a cane. Perhaps it's the latest London fashion. I mean, that's just guesswork, of course. Perhaps you could adopt a cane, Mr. Naruhodo. It might rather suit you. I have a feeling it might argue with the sword around my waist. And do we have new... Oh, hey! The camera's up there. That's a nice little detail. And the camera's up there too. Awesome. Suspicious write-in on the back of a suspicious flyer in the hands of a suspicious gentleman. I didn't think there was anything suspicious about the flyer, Mr. Naruhodo. But yes, Miss Lestrade's name and height and a description of the clothes she's wearing. Not to mention the sketch of her likeness, which I'm fairly sure she wouldn't take lightly. And today's date too, redemption deadline 15th April. We can't let this go, can we? It's far too suspicious.
Take that!
Take that! Yes, what brought you to this shop in the first place is the info about Miss Lestrade. Quite so, my dear fellow. It would appear that the writing and sketch on the reverse of the flyer pertain to the pickpocket Miss Lestrade and to the Windy Banks pawnbrokery here. Ugh. Sorry. I almost fell asleep earlier today taking a nap, and it's not even 12 yet. At 12 in the afternoon, that is. I actually woke up early today. You originally told us... Aw, she's so scared. That you had merely given chase after Miss Lestrade stole the redemption ticket from you. But that, sir, is a thinly veiled lie. It is the information on the back of the flyer that led you here today, by which I mean here to Windy Banks Pawnbrokery, and today the redemption deadline of that overcoat. So, you wait outside for the young girl matching the description you have written down to arrive. Humph! And you have gone to some lengths to hide the reason for your pursuit of Miss Lestrade. In other words, there is some ulterior motive for your actions. The cane, which you unwittingly clutch to your person, exhibits an contradiction. What other rot? I've had this cane for years. The contradiction which I speak is, of course, missing furl. What's a furl? It's the metal cap commonly found on the end of a cane, Mr. Naruhodo. Ah, the bit that makes a nice clacking sound on the pavement? Yes, exactly. And Mr. Sholmes is right. It appears to be missing on this cane. But it doesn't actually look broken, does it? No, it doesn't. Though the gentleman certainly did recoil when Mr. Sholmes identified the cane as suspicious. In other words, there's some secret about the cane that Mr. Benedict would rather we don't know. Stylish hat. Is it the same thing? As stylish as it no doubt is, I don't think this white top hat suits the man, do you? No, not at all. The more I look at it, the more something strikes me as suspicious about it. I think perhaps it's not so much that it strikes you as suspicious, but rather that the hat is just striking. I suppose you're probably right. Perhaps the hat isn't what we're looking for. Missing furl. The end of this cane is just bare wood. Yes, and according to Mr. Sholmes' deduction, this is where the shovel blade would have been attached. Couldn't it just be that the tip fell off? I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo, but I couldn't possibly speculate. Look here, Mrs. Soto. AG. There are some letters on the handle. Ah, yes. Those must be initials, I think. In the West, it's customary for people to engrave belongings with the first letters of their names. So, Herlock Sholmes would be HS, you mean? That's right. And the initials on this cane, obviously... Oh. AG. Why does it feel as though that's not quite right?
Take that!
The contradiction of which I speak is, of course, the initialing. A most astute observation, wouldn't you say, Mr. Egbert Benedict? We are led to believe, sir, that your initials are E.B. Yet, in a most possessive manner, you have in your grasp a cane bearing the initials A.G. An incontrovertible contradiction indeed, would you not agree? No, you're wrong. The cane isn't... You said before that you had that cane for years. Yosuke looks like he's about to cut the man. Omaru Shinderu. So don't try and tell us that you just borrowed it from a friend or found it in the park. In short, though you hold yourself to be a gentleman, you have withheld your true name. Yeah, what's that Terran sound? You recoil, sir. Is something wrong? And in your recoiling, you inadvertently felicitate the answer of your next conundrum to present itself. Long shot. That's actually a girl, and that wretchin was a corset. Namely, what is the truth behind this rod you bear? Oh, never mind. That sound was the camera going off. Yes, your reaction betrays... What the heck? Did you guys see that? There was like a dead pixel on my screen for a second. Wait, I missed it. The handle which you conceal. Okay. Let's consider the bare bones of what's happened here. Miss Lestrade redeemed that fine-looking overcoat. And now a mysterious man has appeared, introducing himself with a fake name, and claiming that the overcoat belongs to him. But we know that he actually identified Miss Lestrade from a written description, which suggests that everything else he's told us is untrue. So what we need to do here is somehow prove that the overcoat cannot possibly belong to him. Handle. It is a rather strange handle for sure. Yes, certainly unusual for a gentleman's cane. You expect to see such a cane being twirled charmingly by its owner as he skips merrily down the street. You do? Something has just occurred to me. We have a shovel back in our office, don't we? Yes, you're right, and its handle is the exact same shape as this cane's. Here we go. Now I'm starting to wonder if it's not actually a cane at all, but a spade. Mr. Holmes's deductions are curiously compelling, aren't they? Stylish hat. I've been looking closely at this hat for some time now, and it suddenly occurred to me that a bright white top hat like that might just be the hat for me. You like it, do you? I think I do, don't I? Well, in that case, you can see if there isn't something similar among Mr. Windybank's forfeited items. After we've concluded our investigation, we must focus on the task at hand. Does it say the same thing if I... Okay, yeah, it says the same thing. Anyways, he is looking over here at the... If I can get it right. No! He's not looking at the camera. Oh! I knew it was something ripping. Oh, the seam on the shoulder there is coming apart. Look. So it is. He's too big for the overcoat. Do you know, a moment ago when Mr. Benedict was surprised by something that was said, I thought I heard a rather strange noise. It sounded a bit like a tiny growl. Sorry about the interruption there. I thought I heard him make a strange noise. It sounded a bit like a tiny growl. But now I think it was probably the sound of this seam ripping open. If you look closely, it does seem to be a very tight fit. The sleeves are stretched to bursting, and and he wouldn't have a hope of fastening it at the front. If he were to run around in it, I'm sure the whole thing would fall apart.
That I'd like to see.
Sorry?
So how can we make Mr. Benedict run around?
She's really given this some thought.
Take that!
The split seam, which you evidently would like to conceal, is the key to understanding this riddle, you see. Ugh. Yes, because the overcoat is rather obviously a poor fit. Having forced it over your broad shoulders, the seam is already breaking apart. My suspicions were aroused from the outset. When you so badly lied about your name and so boldly waylaid this pickpocket. This catalog of untruths has all been for one very specific purpose. To steal the article that the young girl redeemed from Windy Bank. Gah! But what really irks me is this. The considerable crime I initially imagined has been considerably curtailed. To abscond with a redeemed item. Solved. Listen to this music. Now, Mr. Benedict, let us continue. For we must expose the details of this elaborate crime you have in the planning. This is utterly absurd. You suggest that I, a gentleman, designed a wheeze to filch some tardy article of pawnage? Have you forgotten that I redeemed the article in the proper manner, using the watchword? Had I not been the one to deposit it in the first place, how could I have possibly have known the relevant details? Ne sais pas. Ah, God, he's French. Oh, but the watchword can be discovered. As you are only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. Ah, and your furtive glance is more telling than I could have hoped. I love how they wrote this. I should have said this earlier, but I love how they write all of these so that even after the situation has completely changed, it still works out perfectly. Like, this is word for word what Sherlock was saying when he thought this guy was going to rob the bank. Let us consider how one might come to learn a secret watchword relating to the pawned property of another. The method is revealed by the counsel note on the counter to which your eyes were inadvertently drawn. The direction of the deduction must change rather drastically now, I think. Or dramatically now, I think. Yes, no more talk of tunneling into sewers, which is a pity, because it all sounded rather excited. Anyway, you can't deny that this mysterious gentleman did know the watchword. Yes, Professor.
If you didn't know that word, Mr. Windybank would never allow you to redeem the article.
Or, looking at it another way, if you did know that word, Mr. Windybank would allow you to redeem that article whether it was yours or not. Ah, that classic flip it on its head thinking. So the question is, could this gentleman have found the watchword out somehow? Alright, well, first thing I want to look at is the gun. This is Mr. Windybank's gun.
Yes, loaded with only one bullet, he said. It would appear that being a pawnbroker is a very life or death profession.
That might just be this particular establishment. You're telling me I can't look at the picture of the dog or the cat. This is an atrocity of the highest degree. I can't look at the giant ledger either. I totally thought that's what it was going to be.
Oh, oil lamp. This looks to be quite an old lamp, but it's obviously been well looked after, and there's oil in it too.
In other words, it's still in use.
Yes, it would appear so. But as for how it could be related to Mr. Benedict knowing the watchword for the pond article, I have no idea.
That makes two of us. Council note. Baker Street Works is the title. Yes, and it does mention Sewage Works, as Mr. Sholmes said. Oh, and specifically mentions that tonight's sale at the confectionery shop on the corner won't be affected.
Case solving first, confectionery later, Mr. Naruhodo.
Ugh, curse my overly expressive face. Notelet. Look at this, Mrs. Sato.
Ah, it appears to be a memo that Mr. Windybank has scribbled to himself.
Let's see, what does it say? Oh, Professor. Mr. Windybank must make a note of the watchwords his customer gives him right before their eyes. And in an alarmingly clear script as well. Bitch, that is doctor's handwriting at best.
Oh dear, I don't know where to look. Who knows what other secrets I might see.
Take that!
Take that!
The method is revealed by the notelet on the counter to which your eyes were inadvertently drawn. Yes, the broker here follows the same procedure whenever a customer comes to redeem an article. He asks the customer for the watchword, and notes down the response uttered on a notelet he has to hand. Then he consults his ledger and confirms whether or not the watchword matches that of the article in question. I would expect nothing less of a diligent pawnbroker. But his diligence clearly has its disadvantages. What are you talking about? It is increasingly apparent that you were present in this shop before your accusations against Miss Lestrade. In all likelihood, you followed her inside and then observed her talking to Mr. Windybank. When the diligent broker made a note of the watchword, as is his common practice, you observed the writing of the word professor on the note beside the ledger. And that, sir, was the master plan you devised to steal the pawned article from the young Miss Lestrade. Master plan? Which brings us to the final chapter of this lurid scheme. Why would you go to such lengths to redeem that particular article from this pawnbroker? Are you quite serious? For an ill-fitting overcoat hardly seems to justify the effort, much less a worthless music box disc. But naturally, you had a very good reason to make them yours, didn't you, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, this picture postcard tells us what we need to know. The articles we're talking about are the overcoat and the music box disc that was in one of the pockets.
Which, according to Mr. Windybank, isn't even worth a penny.
And yet this man went to such lengths to steal them. Why?
I wonder if perhaps we already have the evidence we need to explain it, Mr. Naruhodo.
Could we? Really? I'd better have a thorough look through all the evidence we've collected so far. Look at all the little bumps on the disc. They're so tiny. Sorry.
Yes, the protrusions are called pins, and they pluck the teeth of the comb to make music. And just on the edge, there's a small amount of blood. Yes, the blood of the mysterious Mr. Egbert Benedict. When Miss Lestrade tried to grab the disc from him, the pin scratched his fingers, it seems. Like when you're grating some daikon radish and accidentally cut your finger. Ouch, just thinking about it hurts and puts me off eating radish. Ooh. Oh, there's a little scrap of paper stuck on the reverse side of the disc, look. And the scribbled words or two. It looks like somebody's name. Ah, shit. For McGilded. McGilded? It couldn't be. But it is, Mr. Naruhodo. A name I shall never forget, for as long as I live. But why? Why is his name on this? A metal disc used to play on the music. On the reverse side is a note that reads for McGillid.
Take that!
I don't like this. You see, the music box disc tells us all we need to know. What's that on the back? It reads for McGillid. Or Gilded. Ah, Mr. Magnus McGilded. The unfortunate philanthropist who perished in the curious circumstances at the Old Bailey 2 months ago. A prominent man in London, though his lone mongering demonstrated a distinct lack of scruples. So, you're an associate of his, are you? Or perhaps a subordinate? Mr. McGilded was a man of an unusually small stature, in fact. Oh, whoops, that's Ryunosuke. He was precisely the right size for that overcoat that you squeezed yourself into. Your true identity remains shrouded in mystery, Mr. Egbert Benedict. And the final conclusion here is crystal clear. The reason you came to this pawnbrokery today was to retrieve an article left behind by the late Magnus McGilded. Ugh. To acquire an item deposited by Mr. McGilded. Solved. Deduction complete. Elementary. Well, Mr. Magnus McGilded. Not a name I expected to hear in these circumstances.
Mr. Sholmes, I'm afraid there's something very troubling on my mind.
Pray tell, Mr. Sato.
Well, according to what Mr. Windybank told us earlier, today was the final day on which the code could have been redeemed, was it not?
Yes, ma'am, that is correct. Today would be precisely 2 months since it was first deposited. Well, today is 15th April, so 2 months ago today would have been 15th February, sir. That's right. It's all carefully recorded in my ledger. Deposited at 10:30 p.m., I see.
What? But that suggests... Yes, 15th February. It's precisely the day on which the omnibus murder took place. And 10:30 in the evening is precisely the time at which the terrible events were unfolding.
Suggestion is not the word. It would seem the matter is entirely beyond coincidence. You are, of course, at liberty to make whatever outlandish deductions you choose. However... Oh, shit! I must insist you hand over the music disc now. Windybank, pop a cap in his ass! It would be terrible. It would be a terrible shame for you to return to your native land in a box. Holy shit. What do I do? I want to see if we can get Ryonosuke shot. I don't think it'll allow us. Like, absolutely not. There are some things a man must protect at all costs. This may be well one of those times. Oh. Then again, it may not.
Hold it!
Hold it? Mr. Windybank. This is my shop. I can't allow any harm to come to my customers. If that were to happen, I should have to take my own life. Point the gun at him, dumbass. Mr. Windybank, no. Alright, that's enough. Wait, what? Yes! Inspector Gregson! And his music, too! Inspector? That's right, Sunshine. That's right, Sunshine. The alarm was raised on one of our dedicated emergency lines. Now, I'm trying to do, is it the commissioner or the inspector from, Murdoch Mysteries, but I can't do his voice. That's right, Sunshine. The alarm was raised on one of our dedicated emergency lines. So we got here as fast as we could. Now, what's this all about, eh? Oh, praise be, you're here at last. I was moments away from forfeiting my own life in my very own establishment. It would seem you have the upper hand. Right, you lot got some explaining to do. I don't appreciate being bothered with some petty argy-bargy. And we will explain to you, Gregson, in the next episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Oh, whoops, sorry, peeked the mic. This is getting to be so good. It just kind of sucks that, like, it feels like we've only just really now gotten into the groove of things, and it's already the final episode. I guess that's why it's sold as a collection. Like, I feel like unless this has a really good ending, we won't get much out of the story unless we play the second game. I feel like the second game isn't really a second game, it's more of just a continuation. But they didn't want to make one super long game. Anyways, so yeah. So, thank you all so much for watching, and as always, stay safe, have fun, and have a great day!